Sometimes I used to glamorize my past and my pain. The way that, where you look back on a past experience and you're like, damn, I felt so deeply, that's why it hurt so much. But in reality, it's moving forward from that. Being able to still honor and exhibit change and maybe even less seriousness. This is just me video logging, so take it as you may. But hello, collective, it's Kai. I am drinking my herbal tea to hopefully help with this voice right now, but got that manuka honey and elderberry. But seriously, letting go of the past and being able to make advancements in yourself. Sometimes it's making the same choice to really start to see yourself a little bit more clearly. And then seeing that choice, a choice at least, a choice that you keep making, inquiring truly, like, why do I keep doing this? For me, not in concerns to another person. And the reason why detachment's so important to me is because I recognized how attached I was, really. Where you start to become stagnant. Stagnancy in your emotional experience, to me at least, seems almost counterintuitive because water is the emotions in tarot, and as someone who practices cardamom, I find it to be very integral to let myself feel thoroughly. So when you start to see yourself a little bit more clearly in that choice and you're like, damn, like, there is something that I can address here. There is something that is being addressed. It's that activity, it's that inspired action to see yourself in that light instead of like, oh, why do I keep doing this? Like being hard on yourself. When it's like, pretty please, give yourself some goddamn compassion. See how well you've been doing it. How well you've done your life to the best of your ability, yes, but also the advancements that you've intentionally made, the changes that you've implemented into your routine, your ritual. It takes practice sometimes to teach yourself a better way to treat you, to not fault, and to be able to make jokes, not to poke fun, not out of pity or spite, not out of spite or resentment, where you're holding on to that grudge. So recently I've been sharing with you guys some pretty deeply, integrally woundful aspects of myself. It made me realize, like, truly, like, making the same choice, expecting a different result. Where is the sanity in that? Where am I protecting my peace? And so being able to, not even being able to, but being willing to make a different choice and see yourself in a different light, and to also recognize that as a Scorpio, I say this with a grain of salt, but really how unmysterious you are, how obvious it is. And for me, I'm still discovering that. I'm still discovering how I want to, or what feels best, more so. What feels best when it comes to expressing myself in an environment, and also seeing how, like, naturally I express myself. So I had, like, my work shift today, and like, I've been kind of sick and pretty tired. I like woke up at 6, went back to bed, woke up at 7, went back to bed, woke up at 8, went back to bed, woke up at 9. And so my sleep schedule has been kind of wonky, and I've been studying for my midterms, and I've also been not complicating things. not complicating things and holding on to the past, whether it is like just for example, just to be super honest with you guys, I fucking failed one of my exams and it definitely fucking botched my grade, but it made me actually realize, like, you know what, this isn't a life or death situation. Like, this is me making an effort to integrate academia back into my life when it comes to structural and traditional conditions. So it's kind of like an unknown thing. And when you finally get that sense of self, you're just like, damn, like I'm just figuring it out, and I'm glad that I'm figuring it out. I'm glad that this is giving me the opportunity to figure it out, and that's what taught me, you know, this isn't that serious, but it is also something that I am taking responsibility for. I have this very interesting relationship with money. And, you know, like I've been saving up, I've been like working more, as well as receiving like allowance from gifts from like my grandparents and things like that. And it's like, wow, like I've been blessed with this amount of money so that I could spend it. And I feel like that's one of the things when it comes to being raised in like scarcity mindset and even victim mentality, you know? It's like, I am so abundant and there really is nothing for me to worry about because I'm actively doing something. Not because I'm being complacent and just deluding myself into like, oh, I'm gonna manifest like all this money. And it's true, like I have, but it's also like, this isn't what dictates like my joy. And so I was reading this quote from, you know, when you get those tea bags and it's like these little quotes on it, and it was saying, one who sees the abundance in what is presented cannot equate it into monetary value. That's not the exact quote, but I tried. And to me, it spoke to the fact that like being able to be present and appreciate what is here cannot even, how do I describe that? It's just so much more. It's pretty much like the saying, like, money can't buy happiness. And some might even add, like, but it can provide security or safety or survival needs. Oh my God. I love that sound. It reminds me of my childhood home in Washington. And so, sorry to just cough like that, guys, but it's like my voice, it's like my throat feels dry. Like, obviously you can hear it, but like, I also had to shout at work today, so understandably my voice has gotten worse. But it's funny how things just work out. Seriously. It's actually like crazy what I've seen in this life. Just like work out. Like when I didn't have a home, like I was provided a home from a friend. When my friend passed away and I felt so alone, I was provided a friend that I could talk to and enjoy life with, and who was truly invested in enjoying my presence. When I felt like I couldn't speak about such an integral part of my being, I was presented a friend who had that ear, who also had their own respective experiences. when I felt like maybe I'm not as pretty or beautiful, I was presented these people who appreciate me for something beyond that. So it's really just perspective, you know? It's really perspective, the way that you see yourself, the way that you balance out your life, and really just giving yourself kudos for all the things that you've gone through, and still looking forward to the future. I might not be like someone who can diagnose, but when you deal with that experience of depression, it really just shows you the polarities of life and death. I feel like depression is like feeling death all the time. That's what I really feel like it is, at least in my experience. And it's like, I'm so grateful to be alive, and I truly do believe that. But because I'm alive, it's being able to feel that aliveness, to figure that out. You know, like sometimes I find myself being like, damn, like, am I making the right choice? Like, is this truly worth it? Like, I'm so tired. Like, I feel like this seemingly is meaningless. But then I literally simultaneously have experiences that show me how meaningful it is, how worth it, how like impactful my presence is. Guys, my head is looking really good. It looks so cool. I'm so glad that I'm writing more poetry, and I'm trying to make time to go to this open mic next month so that I can really express. And I'm actually planning on practicing my poem, which I never do. Literally every single open mic that I've gone to in these past 5 years, I've never practiced my poetry. I've always written it at the place before, like 30 minutes before the actual open mic starts. And so things shift, things change, and it's okay to change. It's okay to see yourself a little bit differently. It's okay to not want these things that you thought you wanted so much, and it's okay to, you know, it's okay to have those shifts. And I really feel like that's just super important when it comes to living life, is being open to the change that happens within you. And being attuned to that sometimes feels uncomfortable, to be completely honest. It feels uncomfortable because you're like I'm so hung up on this thought, I'm so hung up on this way of being, but then you just kind of break away from it. It's like you shift. You literally shift timelines, and it's like, damn, I've made this so much more easier for myself. I've made this so much more simpler. But I feel like that's truly what it is to navigate your own peace and joy and love, is to actually follow your heart, to actually follow what feels best, to really understand that you are capable of change, of changing something that just was so consistent. And that to me is like hope. That to me is like true love. It's like love, unconditional love, where you can accept yourself as you are versus what you want to be or what you think that it is. So I hope that for you too. I hope that for you too on your journey. And so I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for allowing me the space to speak. Thank you for being you. Seriously. And thank you for being alive. Truly. I'm sending you so much love, so much support on your own spiritual journey.